live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
What is that from? Fuck it, I'm doing it live. What is that?
That's Bill O'Reilly. Like when he was like a local sportscaster or news anchor or something. Like he didn't have script at the end of his broadcast, and he's like starts raging at like the news producer because he doesn't he doesn't understand the copy that he was written to like finish out the broadcast. So like there's roll of him like he's like trying to read the copy back to his producer to try to like rehearse it or whatever. And he's like, I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't understand. This is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And he's like getting more and more mad. And then they're getting to like, okay, the break's up. You have to fill. He's like, and he just goes off. He's like, all right, fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. And he's just like screaming.
Early evidence that he's a piece of shit human.
There's evidence that he's a piece of shit.
Here's the thing about like modern times is like people are secret pieces of shit all the time now.
Yes.
Everybody has a fucking phone to record you being a dumb shit forever. If you're being a dumb shit, you're getting recorded and you're going to lose your job and you might get, charges pressed against you for falsifying police calls. That might be a thing.
People deserve everything they get when they're recorded.
If you do racist shit in public and like pull a gun on someone for like being black, guess what? You should probably I'm okay with you losing your fucking job.
No question.
The Brothers Geek are all about Black Lives Matter, by the way.
Black Lives Matter.
100%. Black Lives Matter.
So we are the Brothers Geek, and this is our podcast. We're brothers, we're geeks. We talk about geeky things. I'm Patrick Schmaltz with my two brothers, Christopher Schmaltz. Hello, Christopher.
Hey, boys.
And then Andrew.
Listeners.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Excellent. Sunday afternoon.
I just finished a 2-hour Gloomhaven session, so I am awesome.
Oh, shall we do Gloomhaven report out of the gate here?
You immediately got off our family Zoom call and played 2 hours of Gloomhaven with Shawn. That's awesome.
I went straight from Zoom call to continuation. Shawn and I are currently working on a scenario that is a pain in the ass, and I went straight into that scenario, picking up where we left off. And we just played for 2 hours, and we did not finish the scenario.
God!
And we have 2 more rooms that is going to kick our ass. This is a hard one. That's
hilarious. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
And this is the scenario where we first encounter. You will both appreciate this. Oozes in Gloomhaven.
Oozes.
Yeah.
Have you fought a gelatinous cube?
No, the oozes are that's probably trademarked, I'm sure. And so
I'm sure it is.
Oozes in Gloomhaven are the gelatinous cube of Dungeons and Dragons. So,
okay.
Yep.
Well, gelatinous cube are listed under oozes, and there are a few oozes. Hold on.
A resident dungeon master is going to.
I have the book. I could pull out the book too. Yes, oozes are a variety. There are a variety.
When you played Dungeons and Dragons regularly, were you a dungeon master when you played regularly?
Yes, it rotated. It
rotated. You said
a lot of groups do this where like if you don't have like a main campaign going, you just have like it's basically you do like a one shot. You're just sort of.
We had all our characters and we had ongoing characters, and we would. I was a dungeon and map drawer. I had the hex, or not the hex. I had the graph paper. I created my own dungeon, or variations, and we also had a killer hobby store in Crookston, where we would go, and it was my main candy supplier, my main figurine miniatures supplier. All my Dungeons and Dragons shit was bought from this store.
Was manned by a large, bearded, sweaty guy who wore like t-shirts with like wolves on them and like gnarly flannel.
Dude, that shit's dope.
It was right. It was very close to that. Yes.
Nice.
But it was. It was a for a small town in Minnesota. It was like there was a whole. They had. This store had paints, not just miniature paints, but it was, paints for like artists and things like that. But it was a very comprehensive, awesome store.
So,
and I
did I tell you, Christopher, that I found a website that does custom made D&D figurines, and they're like, you basically build them like you would like a character on.
Is it the same website that was doing like Warcraft figurines? Like you could send them your file, and
I'm not sure if it's the same one. I don't remember that from back in the day. But like
Christopher, you had your World of Warcraft tune for like 10 years.
Yes.
You never. How much was that? Do you remember? To have them custom make your World of Warcraft statue.
Oh, I think it was pricey. I think that's why I never did it, because I think it was significant to do it. Like the deluxe model, I think was like $100,
$250, something like that. Or,
not that high. Not that high.
Okay.
But $100. I mean, I think that they were just 3D printing it.
These figurines,
but it was early times of 3D printing. So.
If you do these figurines on this website, I've been thinking about doing it because it's so cheap. Just the plastic ones are $20, and then the pewter ones, like a custom pewter one, is like $30, which is not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
What you can do, which is crazy, is like you can customize the mouth, the pose, the weapons, the gear.
This is completely an unsponsored segment.
I know.
I love this.
No, it just I stumbled upon it.
We'll put it in the show notes. Send me that.
Yeah,
we'll put
dude, it's so cool. It's so cool.
We should strongly consider this when Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, and we create that. I'm sure it will have a robust character creator, so that when we create our characters, all of us, because we're all playing it, right, Andrew, you dumbass,
right, Andrew.
Hold on, pump the brakes. I have not made it. I don't have a gaming PC, guys. Will. That will be a significant expense for me.
You gotta
and like I announced today, I'm gonna have moving expenses in the near future.
Join the modern world.
I'm gonna. I've never PC gamed before. I've always been a console gamer. So that's a leap for me.
We're gonna force him to join the Discord chat and watch us play. We're gonna stream every single.
It's fine.
Yeah, I want to do this. It's just having the money. If you guys will lead me down the path of playing Baldur's Gate 3 and like teach me the game and carry me through stuff, I would absolutely do it.
Am
I going to have $1,000 to spend on a gaming PC? I don't know. That's the question.
I mean, that's the thing is like. No, I don't think you. I mean, you could build a gaming PC for $1,000, like that. But like buying one that can handle that new game. I mean, Baldur's Gate looks amazing, so it's probably like if you were to buy one off a shelf that could handle it, you're talking $1,500 plus, I would say, for a decent gaming PC.
Yeah, I mean that's a significant expense. And
but we could. There are other solutions though. We could create a separate character for Andrew. That then, anyway, going back to the figurine thing. When we create our character,
tell him what. You don't have to play. You could just watch us, and then when it's your turn, we could just like.
Correct.
Less fun.
You could instruct us on what he.
That sounds like
does.
Significantly less fun for me than actually building my own character and playing.
We're trying to.
Our ooze conversation.
We're trying to include you. Andrew.
No, I appreciate it. You guys are working around the limitations that will exist in my life.
Are there black puddings in there's the 4 oozes that are in the monster manual are black pudding.
Yep.
Gelatinous cube.
Yep.
Gray ooze. And ochre jelly. I don't know how you say
How do you spell it?
OCHRE.
Ochre.
Ochre jelly?
Ochre jelly.
Ochre.
So yeah, those are the oozes.
No, the only oozes in I'm looking at the creatures. I have creature boxes.
They all have similar things that they do. They all like melt you.
This is a wonderful kind of organizer. I can't praise it enough. The only oozes in Gloomhaven are the oozes. No puddings.
No puddings.
Yep. That would be too close to copyright infringement, I suspect.
Well, like, do you think Disney paid Wizards of the Coast to use the name Gelatinous Cube in
100%
Onward? Just
100%.
because it isn't in the movie. It isn't even Dungeons and Dragons. It's what I think. I don't remember the name of the game that he plays.
I don't remember either.
But it's a Dungeons and Dragons.
Heroes or something is Heroes.
Guarantee they paid to license it. Guarantee.
Just they paid them. Here's $100,000 for us to say gelatinous cube.
Whatever it would be.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, they did.
Because they're Disney and they can do whatever they want.
They print money. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Not anymore.
That's fun.
But...
That's fun. So you're not done. While we got off our Zoom call earlier, I went and played Diablo for 2 hours.
Nice.
Up until this point, because the new season of Diablo 3.
Oh, started. I saw that announcement. Yeah,
I've been having a lot of fun playing. All of my friends started new season.
PC or
we're playing on Xbox. We're playing on
Got it.
So
got
it's free with the Game Pass. So if you're if you have Game Pass, I've converted to Game Pass because it's pretty fun and you just get tons of free games and cool stuff.
Is there crossplay? If I played, I have it on my PC. Can I play with you all?
I don't think Blizzard has crossplay. Like a lot of newer companies are going in that direction, and you feel like they should. But
it's not really crossplay. It's just PC and Xbox.
Yeah, you'd want them. You'd want them to.
I wonder
for sure.
about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of newer. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a
that's
newer
on Game
thing.
Pass. God, I may download that.
It's
and start over.
It's fun.
I would just totally start new.
Yeah. Do start a season 21 character because you get all kinds of benefits for doing the season and cool stuff, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I can play with you then on Xbox.
Yeah, I'll get you to 70 real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Right. What you been up to, Andrew? What's on the report? What's the news?
What's on the report? I mean, I dog sat for a week, so I was away from my Xbox, so I didn't play. I haven't really played any of the new season of Warzone. There's a new Warzone season out there, but I have not been playing it. I was
nerfed.
I've heard that. I mean, I didn't play much with the Grow. I've been
sampling multiple weapons because I got the gold skin on the M4 1A.
Nice.
Yep.
The Drug Lord skin that looks like
I totally maxed out. Well, it's not totally maxed out, but I got the gold skin on the
awesome.
M4 1A. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't really been on my Xbox literally from the last time we recorded. I was at Danny's for 5 days watching their dogs while they were away. So I have not played anything. The only thing that I will say
are they good dogs or are they assholes?
They have mellowed out. Oliver and Oakley have mellowed out significantly.
The last time I saw them, they were puppies and they were assholes.
Yeah, no, I mean they still have kind of like excitable tendencies. They can be kind of skittish and a little bit kind of a little dopey sometimes. But they are much more calm. They don't chew and need to like gnaw on things constantly. It happens when they're nervous, which is just a dog thing.
Sure.
They are very used to now having the humans in the house all the time because of the because of the stay-at-home stuff.
Yeah, our dog.
So they were very freaked.
Our dog.
Well, I mean, they
attached.
I worked there during the day. I like moved my work setup over there, and I worked from their office, so they were able to kind of like interact with me throughout the day.
Oh, nice.
But they didn't have Joey to hang out with. They didn't have like Caitlin.
I've seen you have your like monitors up, like you have multiple monitors and shit. Like, you brought the whole setup over there?
Oh yeah, no, it's just a few cables and the two widescreen monitors. So it literally takes plugging everything together takes less than 3 minutes.
If you had a dope ass like gaming PC, you could hook them up to those widescreen monitors. It would look like frosty as hell, bro.
I'm excited, dude. It's all a question of dough. I have things I have to spend money on the next 90 days. So
that is true.
I wish I could help you just build one because we could build one for less than $1,000.
You live 6 hours away,
and one that would be like really good. And the one I built has lasted me for years, and there hasn't been a lot of like huge surges in like technology. I mean, they're kind of leveled off. Like there was a minute there where you build a PC and it was like like obsolete in 6 months. I've had this PC for a couple of years, and it's still
When does Baldur's Gate drop?
there's nothing that can. They say August is their
For the beta.
for their beta, which usually usually they'll do a beta for a couple of a month or a couple of months.
Yeah.
They'll test it out.
Well, I mean, we're getting into prime. We're getting into prime kind of like gaming drop season because
it was supposed to come out in July, but because of COVID, and they even talk about this on their videos, is they've had trouble, making the game because people can't come in, and not as much work gets done. And
I didn't watch it today, but that segues into, I mean, Ubisoft did like a big content like announcement drop for like the fall and winter. So like Far Cry 6, a trailer which I've never played any of Far Cry. I've watched people play, and they're actually entertaining games to watch.
Very entertaining games to watch. I have no desire to play one.
And then, but the Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
Dude, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of my favorite games of all time. Also, I will say Ubisoft is one of my favorite companies ever. I love Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, even though it's kind of panned. I love Ghost Wildlands. Yeah. Ghost Recon Wildlands. I really love For Honor. I think it's one of the best fighting games I've ever played. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's the same group making the same.
I've never played an Assassin's Creed game, but honestly, Assassin's Creed Valhalla might get me to buy it.
Dude, it's
for the Xbox.
It's Vikings, which we are.
We are.
And it's like my favorite. It's my favorite time of history, where it's like Vikings and like
Middle Ages and shit.
And you're just fighting Brits. And like invading things.
It's gonna have like a villaging component. Like you can set up your own settlements and shit.
Well, that sounds deep. That was the argument that a lot of people made about Odyssey. Is like your ship is your home. Basically, you're kind of like a nomad, and so they would trying to like invent a reason for you to come to a hub. Like you're improving this hub, but then like you can improve your crew, like the people you take on like raids, and like your village gets better depending on more raids you get, and the warriors that you can recruit and stuff. It sounds dope. It sounds really cool.
The more I hear about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the more I want to play it. And I've never played an Assassin's Creed game before, so.
But like literally Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like you to complete the main story is like 50 hours plus. It's such a big game. It's such a big game. So you guys still there? You're kind of cutting in and out a little.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, so that Ubisoft dropped some information about that. Also, I mean, the Xbox like big gaming content, they're because the gaming and gaming publishers and electronics companies, they would always draw E3 or whatever, but because E3 didn't happen, there's a big Xbox event in the next couple weeks where they'll more than likely announce the drop date for the Xbox Series X, what kind of launch titles. We know that Halo Infinite will likely be a launch title for the Xbox Series X. So I've been an Xbox guy, so I'm interested in for the drop date of that, the price, what games are going to be available at drop.
You're reminding me, Andrew, because the Master Chief Collection is on Game Pass. I downloaded the Master Chief Collection. We should rock some Halo 3. Brothers Geek Halo 3. That's the reason why.
Halo 3 is so fun.
I'm down with that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Dude, like I haven't played it in so long. I haven't seen it on. Did they like up it? Does it look really good, or does it look like?
I played through most of Halo 1, and I started.
Does it look better, or is it?
Oh yeah, no, it vastly. They upgraded everything.
They just plugged it all in and make it.
Yeah, they updated the engine. Basically, it's the same game, the same physics mechanics, the same guns, same everything. They plugged it into a new engine, so it looks awesome. But it's got a fun feature where you can switch back. You can switch between the gaming engines to have it look like classic Halo Combat Evolved.
My god,
it's so funny.
You could actually see like how like jagged and
Oh yeah, no, it just looks like it's like
And
flat green walls. Yeah,
And it was mind blowing at the time.
at the time.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, they have Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3, and I think they have Halo Reach now available.
Oh wow!
On the Master Chief Collection.
I actually liked Reach, and I actually liked ODST. Like people kind of talk shit about ODST.
I like ODST just because I like the open world aspect of it. Took a little getting used to because it felt so new at the time, and for me, it just wasn't something I was used to because I don't play a lot of games that. If there was open world games,
ODST was like Halo Reach and ODST was like Blizzard getting ready for or not Blizzard,
Bungie.
Bungie was getting ready for freaking Destiny. You know, they were they were working on it, and
ODST was fun, but it was
they were knocking on the door.
You weren't playing as the Master Chief, so you were just a squishy, you know. Mm-hmm. I remember fights in ODST where I would literally run out of ammo because the fights would go on so long.
Well, and they gave you that like shitty ass gun. What was that like little?
Oh yeah, no, the little silenced SMG that just didn't do squat, which didn't hit hard enough.
Yeah, it didn't hit hard enough.
Anytime you had a boss fight, you'd run out of ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So yeah,
I'm excited. That all sounds cool. So you just like you just been watching Korra though. How far are you into Korra?
We're in season 4, and Patrick.
What'd you think of 3?
Season 3 might be my favorite series. Might be my favorite season of any Avatar series.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wow,
it's so good.
It's so good.
Here is the best villain.
The best villain
of the entire series, I think.
And the action gets really good.
Really good.
So fun. Season 3 is peak Korra. It's peak
Korra. It is so good.
So
there are
amazing.
The 13 episodes of season 3 are so much fun. I think
happen? Did they like start to run out of money or something? Is that why they did a short season? Maybe they just wanted...
Every season was 13 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't do 20 episode seasons for Korra.
You're buying them?
We bought them on I bought them on DVD. I gave it to Ashton as an anniversary gift.
You know that they're streaming on CBS All Access, but I don't know if you have that.
My All Access account. I don't pay for that anymore.
Oh damn.
Because I watched Picard and then I had like 2 months where I didn't watch anything on CBS Access. I'm like, why am I paying?
Give it up.
That's how I kind of feel about Disney Plus right now. I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus in like a month.
Bro, you have to watch The Mandalorian behind the scenes series. There's 8 episodes. They're like 20-30 minutes a piece, and it's the filmmaker. It's like the directors, the actors, the sci-fi, the special effects guys. They do an entire episode just on the scoring of the episode, like the guy who wrote all the music.
Oh yeah, that music's great.
Yeah, dude, you have to watch it. It is such a fun series. You really have to watch The Mandalorian. We started
watching that like Imagineering stuff, like them building Disneyland, and that was pretty interesting too. But we kind of got distracted watching Great British Baking show, and that show's
so fun. That show is the most comforting show ever.
It's so comforting. It's just like
feels so good.
If you want to like not like think and just like have fun and have a smile on your face, watch the Great British Baking Show.
Well, and even when they're being critical, they're not being dicks about it. That's the joy of that show.
Well, there's no drama, there's no like backbiting, and like you know what's I love it when I see like the people bakers they help each other. They when somebody
there's like camaraderie and they're all in this together and they're not like backstabbing.
American competition show is so like, oh, we got to form a alliance and vote them off the island, and they create the drama. It's so shitty. I hate watching all that. So
that was on Netflix. Patrick, Christopher, you've been watching something on Netflix. Have you finished the first season of what you were watching, or are you still in the middle of it?
Oh no, we finished Warrior Nun.
Is it good?
It is okay.
This has been like the theme from you, is that like you've been watching a lot of these shows and they're just okay. They're not
Yes.
like great.
It's better than The Order, though, right?
Oh yes, it's much better than The Order.
The Order
Yes.
was pretty weak.
And I have not finished The Order, season 1 of The Order.
Give us the three sentences or less of Warrior Nun.
3 sentences or less. Chosen one receives a gift, is reluctant to utilize everything associated with that gift. Ultimately, chooses to embrace the gift, and there's a huge twist at the end of season 1.
I have heard some chatter online like it's not as good, but it's got the same kind of like vibe a little bit as Buffy the Vampire Slayer in terms of, you know, strong female lead fighting the supernatural, but it also kind of has some wit to it. Is that more or less, or no?
They try hard on the wit side.
Okay.
Not entirely.
They don't have Joss Whedon running the show.
They do not. And the source material is pretty good. The construction of the world is an interesting one. I'll give them that.
Okay.
But it is not nearly as good as it should be.
Like it needs somebody who's like really clever and doing something like Joss Whedon would. You know, somebody who's like really like treading new ground.
Yes,
next level.
Next
level.
They get into the science versus faith debate. They're pretty clearly talking about the church as an entity that is not necessarily a very good thing. But there's interesting tension, right? This order of nuns that this person who is the reluctant hero is asked to join because she's given this specific gift. They're trying to figure out why she was chosen, and that's part of the tension, right? Is there's some people in the order who are unhappy about the choice, and then there's because they are all very faithful. Some of these nuns are very faithful and believers and very believing in the righteousness of their mission, all of that. And so it's an interesting dichotomy.
What's the conflict? The show conflict. Well, I mean, who are they fighting?
They are fighting they are fighting creatures from hell. Sure. Demons. These demons
in this world they exist in the world. Correct. Like they're running around murdering people or something, or causing problems.
They are running around, not necessarily murdering people. They are running around dispelling these demons that have chosen to often inhabit human beings.
Ooh,
and the chosen one, minor spoiler. The chosen one is given the ability to see these incorporeal demons, and then they have weapons that allow them to dispatch these incorporeal demons from the human beings that they have inhabited.
Huh.
But as we learn,
had the cult to kill.
It sounds a little like Grimm with Supernatural
and Winona Earp a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah.
What happens in season 1 is that the nuns find out that some demons can come through in physical form because of portals that are created, and so they encounter some very nasty physical demons that come through the portal as well. One in particular.
Is it like fun action, or is it kind of meh?
That's part of why it's meh. Is the action isn't great. There are some sequences that are kick-ass, where the warrior nuns really are awesome, but they don't. It is, you want the chosen one to be a badass, and she is so like angsty and I don't want to do this throughout the season that she doesn't really get to show off, and what she does do is kind of, walk through walls kind of shit, and it's kind of weak actually. She doesn't really like power up. And when she does power up, it's not like she's like kicking ass. It's more like anyway, I won't spoil it.
Buffy went through that I don't want to be the chosen one shit for one episode.
Yeah, and this is
the first episode.
This lasts for an 8 and a half.
See,
of
like
the 10.
I think like that's just I'm gonna give it a shot on your recommendation because it's like it sounds pretty cool and it's right up our alley. But
6.5 to 7 out of 10.
That character is tired. It's boring. Like there's so much, and this has happened over the past couple of years. It's sort of like this navel gazing of superheroes. Like that is not compelling stories of like I don't want to do it. I don't want. I'm reluctant.
The reluctant hero trope can be interesting.
So tired, dude. It's so
I understand
tired.
if it's done well, if there's a compelling lead.
Yeah,
and it can work. It's just
I don't think. Yeah,
generally it's a little.
So, yeah,
the lead in this show receives a nomination for the Not Ugly Award for.
Okay.
Yep,
there you go.
Yep.
Oh wow.
She is and there's a priest in this show who also should receive a nomination for that award as well. Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
He has an interesting story.
Is it a little CW-esque with the casting?
Yes.
Like
lots of pretty people.
Yeah.
Lots of young pretty people. Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you burned through that and it was mildly entertaining.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. I also watched The Old Guard, also based on a comic book. Source.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince
one of our father's favorites. Charlize Theron is one of our
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he likes Charlize a lot.
He likes her a lot.
What tell me?
Ejiofor is in that movie too. He is
really
fantastic.
He is a favorite. Yeah. He is a favorite of the podcast.
Is it any good?
Yes.
I don't know anybody who's watched it. So
it's very good.
Very good. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is clearly setting up the first of potentially many sequels.
This could be another franchise for Charlize.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
She's great. She's very watchable.
It is very watchable. It is good story. They do not answer all the questions. They raise interesting existential dynamic, which is you know me, I love that shit. It is people kicking ass. The action is great. It's good. There is a touch of a reluctant hero, but that is resolved. They don't brood over it, right? There is quickly get past that. That's not the moral tension at the center of the movie.
Yeah,
it is. Like, it's entertaining.
Do your reluctant hero for 1 or 2 episodes, and then have them get their shit together.
Get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah, get on to other drama. Yeah,
and this does a good job of raising the bigger challenge, and the villain is really villainy, and it's modern and interesting, and it asks really interesting questions.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
There's a lot of these like lesser known comic movies and shows. Like I never saw that Vin Diesel one, the Bloodshot. That's
I haven't seen that either.
That's based on a comic too. It seemed like an interesting concept, but I never heard anything about it or knew anybody.
Well, it dropped right around when COVID was kind of heating up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just kind of like fell into the black hole of
it's at Redbox.
I'm going to rent
it. I'm gonna rent it. It's at Redbox. I can get it for $1 right now.
There's something.
Yeah.
What was there? There was something at Redbox that I wanted to rent that I've completely spaced out. It's been out for a little while. Anyway, but yeah, I need to make use of Redbox just because I would just go, if I wanted to see any movie, I would just go to the theater and see it.
It's at my grocery store, so every time I go, I leave the house to go get food. I check it to see if there's new stuff in there.
COVID carrier, dude. What the hell are you thinking?
I wash my hands and I wear a mask.
You don't know what's on the physical medium.
I don't know what's on. You wipe down everything. Everything that comes into this house goes through the airlock.
Wipe down gauntlet. Yeah.
The wipe down gauntlet.
The sanitation protocols.
Yeah, sanitation protocols. Exactly. So don't you worry about my sanitation.
I do worry about yours because I don't want you to get COVID and die, dude.
You should worry about yourself, Arizona. That's what you should.
COVID deaths are way down.
Why are you?
Everybody's sick.
Me?
Everybody's
being concerned.
I know.
I
I was just trying to be funny, and I'm
not
sorry.
Funny, dude.
Thank you, brother.
That's actually hilarious.
Thank you. See, I'm the funny brother.
That's not true at all. It's the opposite of true.
Well, I've been watching a couple things the past couple nights. I watched I'll touch on two things. Palm Springs on Hulu with Andy Samberg. Pretty good. And it's like, have you guys heard about this?
Yes.
It's like the Groundhog Day movie.
I heard about it. I haven't watched any of it. Yeah.
If you're not in the Hulu sphere, I can see why people would miss it. But everybody I know has
Hulu is one of the few streaming platforms I don't pay for.
I
have every other streaming.
Yeah.
Well, you have
your
significant other. Doesn't she get a free Hulu for life situation? They have purchased...
you would think so. You would think so.
Really? They don't. It doesn't get hooked up.
No, doesn't.
She's worked for Hulu. They have paid her money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty dumb. I know.
Anyways, show me. It's all about the Benjamins, dude.
It's all about the Benjamins. Man. Yeah. You think they'd want to give you a $6 subscription?
I can understand your dumbass. I mean, you worked on Portlandia and you worked on a couple Netflix shows, but you were an on-set grunt. You didn't appear like at the top of the titles.
Thanks. It's called above the line, Andrew.
See, I don't even know the industry term.
Is that the industry term? Above the line?
She's at above the line, and I'm a below the line, and that's.
Hey man, you hit yourself to the.
That sentence is immortalized. There is no truer sentence than that.
That's the title of this episode.
Universe.
She's above the line, and I'm below the line.
I'm below the line. That's it. That's the title.
Well, great.
Hannah, we love you so much.
We really do.
Great.
No, everybody punches out of their weight class every now and again, bro. I'm definitely punching out of my weight class right now with my significant other. So
okay. I thought you were. Okay. Anyway, so we watched Palm Springs. We actually talked about it with a group of friends outside for our little social distancing brunch that we had this morning. And it was cool. Like it's a cool movie, and it's sort of lighthearted and nice, and it takes the Groundhog Day to a funny / like darker modern kind
what
of.
What about the Russian Doll? Is it better than that?
I loved Russian Doll.
And
this is just a movie, so you could I think that they can both exist, and I love Russian Doll. So
Russian Doll. The main actress is. I do not enjoy her energy. So
Natasha Lyonne.
I was not immediately interested in it because when I saw it was her, I'm like,
she does have a quirky she does
does not vibe.
Did I ever tell you my Natasha Lyonne story?
No,
because she dates Fred Armisen. She's been dating him for years. So I met her a bunch of times on Portlandia.
Oh, yeah.
And we were filming this concert in I want to say it was season 6, maybe 5 of Portlandia. And she was there just on set. And I'm like a grunt. I've been there for a month. I'm an intern. I'm not getting paid. And she's just hanging out with crew members and walking around. And we're backstage of this big concert that we're filming for Portlandia, and the Flaming Lips are there. There's all this craziness is happening, and she comes up to me, and there's lots of randos behind stage, and she's like, "Don't leave me." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Just stay with me," because she was afraid of the randos. So I hung out with her for 30 minutes, just making sure that the randos didn't fuck with her.
Did not descend on her?
Yes, or make her feel uncomfortable and stuff. It was really bizarre. And then this rando
you're tall, so
you're a welcoming. You have a welcoming energy, dude.
Oh, that's that too. Well, what you're saying about her, that I'm tall. She is a tiny little person. She is.
Was she
5.
nice? Did you talk to her?
Oh yeah. We chatted a little bit.
I assume
but
that she has she's
very
an
nice.
artist. I
Yeah,
like
she's
her,
an artist. Most actors are a little kooky. They're a little.
Yeah, they got their energy's a little bit off because they're.
Yeah.
I
She's
feel
a
like
very nice person.
When you're used to performing all the time and you've like your shame and embarrassment zone is pushed way down so you can just perform and not feel self-conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go up to people. I mean, you could be a naturally shy person, but your energy is just different when you don't have you don't feel embarrassed by stuff. And a lot of performers just aren't embarrassed by stuff.
Every actor I've ever met goes into two groups.
Some of them are introverts, dude.
Very much so. Yeah.
Every actor I've ever met go into these two groups, and it's kind of interesting that I've this is my own personal observation.
Sure.
Is they are very shy, don't say a word to anybody, in their own head, not very outgoing, and then they come out and they perform and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then once the camera's rolling, some kind of switch gets flicked, or they could be method as fuck and they're just they're really committed or something, I don't know, but they're either very quiet or super outgoing, super loud, talks to everybody, doesn't give a shit. Usually those ones are the partiers of the two that I've noticed.
Sure.
And I've definitely partied with some actors in my time, and it's sort of like an interesting.
Have you worked on a show with Charlie Hunnam? Have you gotten drunk with Charlie Hunnam before?
Not Charlie Hunnam. It was the other one that kind of looks like the one from Vikings.
Okay, I've got you.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. He looks like Charlie Hunnam, but that guy would drink with his driver every night. I was friends with the driver, and she was like, "Yeah, we go out drinking every single night." So
that's awesome.
He would hit it. He would hit it for sure.
See? There you go.
I wanted to have a beer with Ben Foster to save my life because I love that man, and him and I had a couple of nice conversations. But he went in the quiet route. He was in the quiet, keep to himself kind of. But he's method as hell.
Yeah. I heard that about Ben Foster. He's got an intensity about him.
He's intense, but it's like a quiet intensity. It's not like he's a dick or anything. Not at all. Very, very nice man. Anyways, so I watched that. Palm Springs, if you have Hulu, worth a watch. Very nice, and especially in these COVID times, very light fare, very charming, funny.
Okay.
So it's good. And then I watched Vast of Night on Amazon.
I've heard of this, yeah.
Which is it's kind of divisive in my household here. Hannah did not like it. I'd like to stress that in the beginning that she felt it was kind of boring and she didn't connect with the characters. These are the flaws of the movie. Kind of boring, didn't connect with the characters. Kind of like a very subtle plot, but I loved it. Really long takes. Really takes a minute to get there, and when it gets there, it's worth it. It reminds me a lot of that slow burn of The Witch. If you saw The Witch,
I never saw The Witch. I've heard amazing things.
It's same kind of thing where it's creepy, methodical, slow, but when it gets to the end, atmospheric, very much atmospheric. Long shots, beautifully shot. Really, really cool, and it's up. I don't want to tell you what happens because
I want to watch it.
It's very spoilery, but watch it. And but
what's it called? What's the title one more time?
Vast of Night.
Vast with a V.
Vast of Night.
Okay. Cool.
I loved it. I thought it was really cool and interesting, and man, I could not take my eyes off it. It was incredible. So yeah, those are the two big ones, and I've been playing Diablo, and that's about it. And Dungeons and Dragons, still playing Dungeons and Dragons. And this week was a lot of fun. My character got infected with a crystal disease that is going to slowly but surely turn me into a crystal person, from Willow, remember Willow, Tyrus Lee, the guys are stuck in crystal. That's gonna be my character. That's gonna be my character unless I can cure it. So
okay,
That's
interesting.
It's exciting.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, just as a shout out,
yeah.
Perry Mason is something that I've been watching on.
I watched the second episode last night
on HBO Go.
Yeah, is it any good? Like
I'm digging it. It's I like the detective story.
It's dark and broody. It's dark and
broody. And I mean, the concept that I always have of Perry Mason is like he's a defense attorney,
right?
But I guess it's
weird.
It's weird that they're like taking on this aspect of the character where he's a detective who works for an attorney. So I don't know if they'll eventually build up to the fact that the character becomes his own kind of defense attorney. They definitely kind of sprinkle in the fact that he has natural kind of defense attorney traits, I guess. There's a scene where he is testifying as a private investigator in some kind of case, and he's being cross-examined by some kind of other attorney, and he like the attorney that he works for, that he's testifying on behalf of, is not like interjecting like he feels like he should. So he's like chastising him from the witness chair, that he's not like objecting when he should, or like
that was a good
raising
scene.
arguments. That was a good scene, and it kind of like made me think. Okay, they're kind of like hinting at the fact they'll eventually build to Perry going to law school or whatever the process would be back in the 1930s.
Well, I don't remember the show very well. Like,
I don't remember even watching it. I just know that like Perry Mason.
Yeah,
he's like
I've read that
people.
The show is different from the books.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I've read that this show currently hews closer to the tone and the characters of the books than the TV concept.
I
didn't even know there was books.
Yeah.
Is it one overarching case, or is it like each episode is a case?
So far,
this show is one case. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's multiple strands to this case. So.
That's cool. I did. Was I telling you guys I was watching Avatar: Last Airbender? I finished it last night.
That series finale is so good.
Well, that's why I've been like.
Those last 4 episodes are some of the best TV you'll ever see. Ever.
I mean, it's amazing. Avatar is amazing.
Yep.
So,
but your Korra watch has me very motivated to finish Korra, because I never did.
You got to get to 3. You got
three. I mean, they're short seasons. They're 12 episodes apiece.
Yeah.
And admittedly, 1 and 2 I think are good. But season 3 is great.
I need to watch
legitimately great.
I need to finish it.
They get their tone of Korra together like much better.
Yeah, I didn't like her very much. I think that's why I fell off. Is that I was not a fan of her and her attitude.
She grows on you. She definitely grew on me.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy her. I liked the supporting cast more than I liked her in season 1.
Well, and then the end of season 2, like she makes some crazy decisions to like change the world. Like,
she makes some bold decisions.
She and that really like changes the dynamic.
Changes the whole dynamic of the show.
Yeah, and it makes her like season 2 is interesting. Season 2 is uneven, and then I think it has some like really good episodes sprinkled throughout. But season 3, man, fuck. Season 3 is.
I need to watch it.
Season 1, unfortunately, season 1, looking back on it, is a little bit. It's encumbered by the fact that they were in love with the setting of Republic City, which is a cool setting.
I love all the bending like championship stuff. I thought that was fun.
I liked that idea, but I think the Avatar world in general, they need to be like adventuring. Yeah. And season 2 and definitely season 3, Korra is like on an adventure.
Yeah.
In each season. So she's like traveling the world, she's encountering different peoples.
They were trying to season 1 is like Republic City's having problems. I got to sort it out.
Which is a cool setting. It's just it doesn't lend itself towards the adventure kind of quest nature that really kind of serves the Avatar the best.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
so,
I mean, it's sort of like what's interesting about like Avatar, like comparing Avatar and Korra, like Last Airbender and Korra is like the world is very much in like turmoil when it starts. It's like half the world is at war, and the Fire Nation is like invading, and you hear about this like Sozin's Comet is coming, and he's gonna destroy the world. There's all these like big, huge.
I said it last week. The Aang already saved the world, so like
Yes, so
it removes that drama from Korra's story.
Right,
Aang
Korra's
already saved the world.
is like everything's at peace.
Yeah,
but there's like political like turmoil in Republic City, and that's just not as interesting. It's not as like it's not as dire, you know.
It doesn't feel as big. Some of the story doesn't feel as big. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Cool. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? We can keep it short.
No, yeah.
I just want to highlight two things on the. I want to highlight two things on the reading front. One is that I finished listening to iRobot, the collection of stories by Isaac Asimov. If we want to maintain our geek cred, I highly recommend that you two read or listen to that.
It's a short story, even, right?
Well, the iRobot book 1 of the Robot series is iRobot, and it is a collection of short stories. That there's a through line through it. It originally was a bunch of short stories, and then it was collected into a novel that has a sort of a pasted on through line of an interview of a robot psychologist who is retiring. And so it's like flashbacks and stuff that she was involved in and shit like that. But it's the fundamental introduction to Asimov's robot world, and then the elements of the movie that everybody's familiar with are taken from, I think, subsequent books. But it's the introduction of the 3 laws of robotics. You remember what they are? This is a extra trivia moment. So
extra trivia.
Robots cannot harm humans. Robots cannot,
through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. That's number one.
And a robot will not obey a human that gives them an order to harm themselves.
A robot must obey a human unless it contradicts rule 1.
Yes,
correct.
Yes,
that's the second one, and then
the
third
rule is like the robot cannot God, I don't know.
Robot must protect its own existence as long as that doesn't violate 1 or 2.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. So
really
definitely,
stuff.
I encourage you. This is classic science fiction. It should be read. It should be read by us as geeks.
Yes.
So I encourage you to do that. So
it's not long. When my next Audible credit comes up,
it's not long. It's easy. It flows. It's pretty quick.
Asimov is like one of the great.
He's the truth, man. He's
So I highly encourage you and all listeners to read that book or listen.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And the other book related thing I want to highlight is the next Dresden novel comes out on Tuesday.
But this is like Dresden
15, I think.
Oh, it's that
16.
Did we when we saw I'm blanking on his name now. I can see his face. When we saw the author at Comic-Con a couple years ago. Jim Butcher. Did he say that he was going to do like 20 Dresden books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we're in the like downward slope of Dresden books.
Yes, and he did say that the final 3 are going to be an apocalyptic trilogy.
Oh wow.
And what kind of pace does he write these books in?
Well, it's been I think 5 or 6 years since the last one.
Oh wow, okay.
And because he started a new series a couple years ago, and so he was taking his time working on that. And then, but the beauty of the Dresden series is that he's releasing 2 this year. There's awesome. There's one that comes out this week, and then the next one comes out in September.
That's dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are two books coming out in December that I'm
Legendary Listener Shawn is a huge fan. We are both nerding out about it because it comes out. Two come out, and I'm a huge fan of that series. So.
I stopped at like book 4, I think. Like,
they're incredible, dude.
I haven't gotten that. Yeah,
they're incredible.
I need to try to pick those back up. They're
I think I
amazing.
still have book 4 on my Audible.
They're amazing. Do it. I have the entire series on Audible.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
right,
Andrew.
Yeah.
What trivia do you have for us?
Trivia that I have is book themed, and it's because I didn't know it, so I did a little bit of investigating. And if you guys know it, I'll be extremely impressed.
Ooh.
We talked about Perry Mason and how it's actually based on a book series. Plus or minus 10, legitimately 10. Closest wins. How many Perry Mason books exist?
Oh.
Plus or minus 10.
Plus
I
or
was
minus
shocked
10.
by the number.
I'm going to say 74.
Man, you're right. You're right where I was. I'll do higher end. 103.
103. This is according to Wikipedia, which is generally a good source for information like this. The following list of Perry Mason novels and short stories by Erie Stanley Gardner, published from 1933 to 1973. So novels and short stories. I'm sorry. So it's novels and short stories.
I mean, 40 years?
Yeah, 40 years of short stories and novels. There are 82 Perry Mason short stories and novels.
Winner chicken dinner.
Winner chicken dinner goes to Christopher. They all have the similar trope of the title, The Case of blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
I did not know that. This is incredible that there is this much Perry Mason content.
82 books. 82
books.
Wow.
Yeah, wild. This is a whole segment of like detective fiction or legal fiction that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a black and white series that like...
Who are reading those? Who's been reading the Perry Mason novels?
Like, I don't know. People who are like big fans of detective fiction love the Perry Mason books.
I'm sure it's huge in that world, yeah.
Yeah, so 82 Perry Mason novels and short stories exist. That's a crazy amount of content.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Very cool.
Congratulations, Christopher.
Thank you.
Congrats, Chris.
Yeah.
If you'd like to help Andrew with his trivia, you should email him at kingofthenorth52@gmail.com. If you'd like to email the podcast, brothersgeekpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, brothers_geek at twitter.com. Brothers Geek Podcast on Facebook, brothersgeek.com. Brothers Geek do stuff on Instagram. I think that's all the things. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Mask.
Wear a mask. Be